Well, good morning. It's great to be with you this Monday morning, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, right before 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, success stories, but mostly we're here to support you, our distribution partners. We have been working on a rollout, a soft launch, if you will, now for a couple of weeks on what we're going to now officially designate as a two-step process. And so in preparation for today's training, I came in the office yesterday and sent you some information that maybe you had a chance to review, and then we'll go through it today. We are still in the soft launch phase, and I'll describe what that means. But most importantly today, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that you see the value proposition of breaking the client enrollment into two steps. Now, you don't have to do it in two steps. You can continue to do it in one step. But let's go through how this is set up, why it's set up this way, why we believe it's much better for the client and more lucrative for you. And then we'll continue to answer questions. We have our Chief Marketing Officer, Scott Stroud, working on the back office, getting all the systems built. We certainly are committed by at least March 1st. I really think that he'll have that done this week. But once it is fully live, of course, then we can do a full announcement. So let's step back and define the problem, because I think any successful entrepreneur, which I believe you are and I believe I am, we need to solve a problem. That's why entrepreneurs succeed, is that they identify a problem and provide the marketplace a solution. So what is the problem that you and I together are helping solve? The problem is access to capital. Most small businesses, small being defined as less than 500 employees, according to Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but most small businesses lack access to the capital that they need to start, to grow, to reach their potential. Now, there are loan brokers and, of course, banks and credit unions. There's many different resources out there, but I frankly don't think that any of them holistically meet the needs of the clientele. And I do believe that what you and I do together can. So we've been offering the Access to Capital program for quite some time, and that's what we'll call a one-step process. We've come to the conclusion, and we'll continue to offer the one-step process. So if you don't want to change, you don't want to pivot, that's okay. But we've really come to the conclusion that the one-step process does not generate the same results and preferable outcomes that a two-step process could. Now, everybody likes simple, right? And one step is half the number of steps as two steps. But I want to go through and just describe the two-step approach and get your constructive criticism. You know, if you want to call BS on it, that's fine. If you don't like it, or if you like it, you can offer feedback in the question and answer box of Zoom. So we have the official landing page construct that is up, and it's called two-step funding. The reason that we chose that is it's important for the clients to understand that there are two steps. With two steps, the first step is becoming credible on paper. The second step is getting funding. So on this, there's an embedded video, which I sent to each of you. It's a YouTube video. And so if you go to twostepfunding.com and click here, it'll play that video. Each of you will be provided a free landing page. And so down at the bottom where there's a big blank, there's nothing. You'll notice right now there's no call to action. There's no way for someone to go to this page and sign up. That's because, as I mentioned, Scott's working on that, and there's going to be new content down here in this white box that will be linked specifically to you. And that's where individuals will be able to go to your landing page, and they'll be able to sign up in step one. So let's differentiate step one from step two. And you may already be familiar with this, again, because we've sent out the video that we've created, and you've seen the flyer, the marketing piece, which is 2-page that we sent out. But step one is very important. It's helping the client become credible on paper. So let me describe what that means to the client, and then we'll talk about what that means to you. And then we'll go over to step two, talking about what that means for the client, and then what it means to you. So step one is what we've been referring to as the small business certification. The small business certification is a 28-day, 4-module approach. We go through the first module on building business plans and help the client build a business plan. We go through the second on business credit and help the client build their business credit profile, like their Payouts with Dun & Bradstreet. Week 3 is on financial, module 3, which is also week 3, is on financial management. So we help them build their balance sheet and income statements. Week 4 is banking and money. We pull it all together. So the small business certification, the 4-module approach isn't changing. That is what we're doing in step one. So you might say, well, why don't you just call it small business certification? Well, it's referenced, but you have to understand from a client's perspective, they don't know what small business certification is. They probably don't desire it. It's not like they woke up this morning and said, damn, I wish I was a certified small business. What they want is the outcome over here, this big pile of money, and that's why visually it's larger. We understand what the client really wants is step two, but what you and I have to wrestle with is truth. And truth is most clients do not look credible on paper yet, so we need to do step one or they won't get step two, right? So it's the necessary. When I used to teach high school, right? Economics, accounting, a couple other courses. I taught mainly seniors. Did those seniors want to take my economics course? Frankly not. But did they need to take it? Was it a mandatory class to graduate high school? It is, and it was. And so in some cases, we have to understand we have to complete a step to get to the desired goal. And so step one is essential. Now, currently with access to capital as it's offered, there is no step one as a standalone step. They just enroll. They still go through the 4 modules and they still get the guaranteed funding. But we'll talk in a moment about why splitting these 2 steps up, I believe, is preferable. And this system will be set up based upon separating the 2 steps. This will, again, not prevent you from enrolling people directly into the access to capital where it's all packaged together if you wish. But I think you're doing yourself and the client a disservice if you're not very careful with that. So step one is getting credible on paper. Step two is getting funding. Step one is probably what most of you are already familiar with, as I've described, going through those 4 modules. So we're going to help them build their loan package, the business plan, the financials. We're going to also help them build their business credit. What we know is people don't want to take risk. They want assurances. They want guarantees. And so step one, the small business certification, does guarantee each participant a minimum of $10,000. Excuse me. Now that's not the full $100,000 that we can accomplish after we have a loan package, but we are guaranteeing them at least $10,000 under their EIN, no use of social security numbers. So that's part of the carrot to get them into step one. And then, of course, then we can also use the collateral support program, which we've talked about before, because we know that the #1 reason that small businesses don't get approved for funding, and there could be other reasons, but the #1 reason is they don't look credible enough on paper. Often their balance sheet is weak and or their income statement is not sufficient to match for the capital raise they're looking for. So we can fix that. So step one will be accomplished here on your landing page. You'll have a landing page that looks like this. There'll be information here at the bottom of the screen that will allow the client to the prospect to automatically become your client. They'll be hard-coded to you. They'll be able to pay to enroll in the small business certification. The small business certification, again, is the building of the loan package. That is it's about a $5,000 value. It's a $2,500 cost. With the grant allocation we have of $2,104, they're paying $396, of which that can be spread over 4 $99 payments. They'll have the option on your landing page here at the bottom to be able to sign up and pay. It will notify you automatically. Hey, you've had a sale, you've had a client. Here's their name, their email, their phone number. Great. We're going to do the delegated mentoring on this, so it's not a burden to you, but you'll be notified, and we're going to pay out weekly. We want to get you paid weekly. You're going to get paid $100 for each client that enrolls in step 1. And I know that's less than what we're used to for the whole access to capital, but that still remains. You're still getting that full amount of funding income. We'll discuss that in a moment. We do have an affiliate-based model. We're not network marketing, we're not MLM, but we do have a 3-tier affiliate model, which is great for you because that will allow you to earn overrides on production of any affiliates that you have in your hierarchy, and also overrides on affiliates of your affiliates. So 3 levels deep total of payout. So that is step 1. Step 2, then, the clients can decide once they've completed step 1, then they can enroll in the access to capital, which is step 2. It's the same access to capital program that you're familiar with. No upfront cost, $100,000 guarantee. You're able to pick the performance fee that you want the clients to pay. We do a 50-50 split of that. First tranche of financing, normally within the first 7 days. The amount of first tranche financing will vary based on the credibility of the client, but it's commonly $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So step 2 really is the access to capital program. It will still have the refundable deposit, which is still paid to you. You still receive $2,500 from each client after they get their first tranche of financing, which should be within the first week or so. And then you still name the performance fee, and we still split that 50-50. So in summary, the benefit to you of doing it this way, breaking it into 2 steps, is it's going to be very convenient for clients to enroll. You'll have a landing page that looks like this. The whole mechanism will be here. They'll be able to do step 1 to put their information in. If they don't do step 1, I'm sorry, if they complete step 1, but they don't do step 2, which is completing the terms and conditions and paying online, Scott will have the automation, the reminders to prompt them. You'll be notified when you have a sale. You'll be notified when your affiliates have a sale. You'll be notified when your affiliates have a sale. Those of you that are licensed insurance agents, this is going to be like printing money because you'll be notified. So now you can instigate the conversation with them about asset protection and key person policies. And then you can upgrade them at whatever point you would like to move them from step 1 over to step 2. But the normal process, of course, would be to allow us to complete the 28-day process and really see if they're a good fit. And that's why this is preferable from a client satisfaction perspective. Because what we do see on occasion is we'll see people that enroll in the Access to Capital program. Darren is an example. Great guy, smart guy. Darren is a friend of mine, I feel now. But he enrolled and he wanted 7.5 million. We've talked about this last week. He wanted 7.5 million in 28 days. And I was not the referral source. In other words, someone else talked to Darren and got Darren on board. But Darren is now pissed off because he doesn't have 7.5 million in 28 days. Well, number one, that's not what we promise as far as the time frame. We need to build the loan package in 28 days, then we can decide funding. But in Darren's perspective, there's an inconsistency between what he wants for capital and what he qualifies for. And so can we work with him to be able to help him close that gap? Sure. But we never guaranteed him or anyone else 7.5 million. By breaking this into 2 different steps, it's preferable, isn't it? Because Darren could have been introduced into step one, we could have gone through the process, built his loan package, and then consulted with Darren. Well, Darren, based on your mitigating circumstances, there's not a clear-cut way to get from where you are to 7.5 million in a short time period. It doesn't seem that you qualify for 7.5 million. Now that may make him feel unhappy or sad, but it would have prevented him from anticipating that he was going to get 7.5 million just because he went through step one. So it's up to you if you would like to be an affiliate. There's no cost to be an affiliate. We'll provide a landing page for free, and that's what Crispin's asking, and I'll describe that more in a minute. So if you want to be an affiliate where you can earn the overrides, you'll be able to take this two-step process out to the marketplace. And what you and I know, whether you're a fan of Robert Kiyosaki or other business educators, is that if you build a business where the only way that you generate income is your own work, that's really just creating a job. The smarter approach is to create a business whereby you're generating revenue off of others' assets, other people's work, other people's production. Not talking about network marketing, not talking about MLM, but affiliate marketing is very lucrative, and that's the way that this is built. And you can see the column over here. So if you decide to leverage this, you'll be able to have a free landing page. You can be an affiliate for free, landing page for free, and then people will be able to come right to your landing page and enroll. You won't be burdened with doing the mentoring. We'll take care of that. You'll still be able to sell the key person policy and make that money. So you're making money up front, you're making overrides, you can sell the key person policy if you want. And then if you would like to be involved, you don't have to be in helping the client upgrade to access to capital, then you can do that because you obviously have a relationship with them. You've been notified that they've enrolled. And then if you enroll them into step two, which is the access to capital, then you're making the $2,500 up front plus the percent of the capital raise. You decide what the percent of the capital raise is. Most of you are going from 10 to 20%. So let's say you split the difference. If you charge the client 15% performance fee, 50% of that is 7.5%. So you'd be making 7.5 points off their capital raise. The way that we're building the affiliate program out is it's embedded into step one. And so that was a strategic decision. And you may like it or dislike it, but the fact that it's free to be an affiliate, everyone tends to like that. Now, that doesn't generate any income. So if you went out and recruited 100 affiliates, how much money would you make? Zero up front, because the affiliates don't pay anything. However, the affiliate program is embedded in to step one, going through the small business certification. So the truth is, if you went out and recruited 100 people to be on your team, you would actually make $10,000, wouldn't you? Because each of them would have enrolled in the small business certification, because we want affiliates to go through the curriculum to understand it. There's no cost to be an affiliate, no cost to have the landing page. And so the point is there's a one-to-one ratio, which is awesome. So every client that you enroll also becomes an affiliate. Now, they may wish to use that, leverage that, be active with that or not. There's no production requirements. I see Timothy's asking if he's a white label partner, like many of you are. As a white label partner, if he takes this two-step process, does this count towards his production goals? Absolutely, yeah. So we know that white label partners are expected to generate at least 8 access to capital clients per month, 2 per week. That's what we agreed to do when each white label partner enrolled. But this counts the same. So if you had 8 people enroll in step one, even if none of them ever enrolled in step two, it would still keep us on track and in compliance. And so White label partners can go out to the marketplace and offer just the access to capital, which is up and operational, no change, that's fine. It includes the small business certification, no upfront cost, $100,000 guarantee, that's all fine. Or you can break it into two parts. I believe breaking it into two steps helps us help the greatest number of folks up front, but it keeps them from going into the funding phase with unrealistic expectations like Darren. Again, Darren's a good man. He's smart. I love working with him, but there's just a vast gap between his reality. You know, when you have someone that's broke, that has no credibility on paper, and they want 7.5 million in less than 30 days, that's not realistic, but that's what Darren wants. We don't want upset Darrens. We want to be able to take everyone through step one, help them understand where they're at, what they qualify for. If they'd like to move on to step two, encourage them to do so. But just if there's a fit, this avoids you and I taking on people into the funding process that have unrealistic expectations. So let's see. So Crispin was asking about the landing page, and we covered that. So I emailed out to each of you, so you have that. We'll get you set up as an affiliate, or we're doing the master affiliates right now as we're in the soft launch. And then Scott is working on the programming and design. And so hopefully within the week or so, we'll have that up and going. So we can enroll clients currently. However, we're not able to use this replicated site yet. It's still under operation, under construction. All right, and so Zahn asked about the refundable deposit, and that's a good point. So if they go through the two steps, step one and then step two, they still will have a refundable deposit. What we found, and they don't pay that until after the first tranche. So let's break down the dollars again. On step one, they will pay $396. It's a $2,500 loan package to build out their documentation that they need to go to funding. We have the grant that covers $2,104 of that. Thus, they're paying $396 at one time or over 4 payments. You're paid out of that. We have the 2 levels, or 3 levels total of payout, 2 levels of override. We've covered that. So that's good where the client has a little bit of out-of-pocket expense, because what we want to avoid are people that have no commitment and it's extraordinary value. When they get into step two, they'll have no upfront cost to go into step two. There is still the refundable deposit for us to help them with that process. They're going to pay you the $2,500, and then they would get that back once they fulfill the promise. Because the promise in access to capital, step two, is we will work with them to help them raise at least $100,000. It's guaranteed. It's in writing. Absolutely will happen. And then that they will work with us, with you, to reach at least that goal. And so deposits are common. You know, try to go rent an apartment without a deposit, right? Or go try to rent a car without deposits. It's very common. So with that being said, the deposit will still exist. You'll still be paid the $2,500 if they enroll in the step two, but it's not $2,500 out of their pocket. Instead, it comes out of their first tranche of financing. Obviously, we would probably only want to enroll people that are going to qualify for cash funding for the first tranche of financing, because otherwise they're less likely to be satisfied. So in summary, we should have far fewer people that enroll in the funding process than what we have in access to capital now that do not qualify for cash funding, because we'll be able to vet through them once we've built their loan package. And as a white label partner, you know, you control how much that deposit is. And so Zahn, if you didn't like charging them the full $2,500, you could do a subsidized amount. You say, well, you already paid $396 over here. We'll credit that. So instead of having a $2,500 deposit, you only have, let's say, a $2,104 deposit, or round it off and say, okay, we'll reduce your deposit to $2,000. We'll credit what you paid for enrolling in step one. that would be your choice. And that's a way also to allow them to get this money back. And that's a best practice, is to say, okay, if you go ahead and enroll in step 2 after step 1, we will credit what you've already paid to your refundable deposit that comes out after your first tranche of financing. All right, Mr. Jackson's asking if you've paid for a landing page. Well, we've not sold anyone a landing page for the 2-step funding. We're not going to sell anyone a landing page. We're providing them free, but they're just simply not available yet. We're in the soft launch phase. Scott's working on that diligently. And as soon as he has it completed, each of you that decide to become an affiliate in the free affiliate program for the 2-step funding will receive a free landing page, and it'll do multiple things. It'll allow clients to pay by credit or debit card right on your landing page. It'll immediately notify you. You'll have a login so you can see reporting. You'll be paid out weekly. You'll see reporting not only of any clients that you generate, but also any that your affiliates or sub-affiliates. It's really robust, and he's building all that now. He worked on it quite a bit over the weekend. It's not done yet. It takes some time. So yeah, no one should have ever paid for a landing page for this campaign. We're not selling it. We're giving it away. Now you might have other landing pages for other campaigns, but definitely not for this one. No charge. No charge to be an affiliate. No charge for the landing page. All right, Crispin's asking a question about the collateral support program. So we had a training on that last week. Absolutely, that's something that we do on a regular basis. And so it's commonly needed to build the balance sheet income statement. So Crispin, we can help you with that, as well as any clients that you have. Winston asked, at the end of this, meaning step 1, do they have a business plan and loan package? Absolutely, yes. Just like you've gone through, Winston, right? I believe you've gone through the 4-week process, and so you ended up with your business plan and financials and support documents. Absolutely, absolutely. That's what we're talking about here. All right, so Peggy's asking to see if they qualify. Well, no, there's no qualification. So you'll have a free landing page built off of this. The video that describes this flyer is built in, and we can go through it if you want briefly here in a moment. It's a 5-minute video, but they'll be able to go to your landing page and they can sign up. They don't have to qualify for step 1. They just simply enroll. So there's no minimum credit score, no minimum time in business. There's no qualification other than the fact that they're willing to pay on your landing page the $396, whether it be in one payment or spread over 4. So let's briefly watch this video. Stand by, please. Well, hello. I want to spend just a few minutes with you today talking about the simple 2-step funding process. It's a proven process to help any small business access a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow. And of course, that's guaranteed. So if you're looking for money to start or grow a business, you should understand that our program is a grant subsidized resource. It was formed with the input of SBA and SBDC advisors, SCORE mentors, business bankers, and others to help increase access to capital without any minimum credit scores or time in business to enroll. We will help you raise a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow a business through a simple 2-step process that I'm going to show you over the next couple of minutes. Additionally, we have a great and lucrative affiliate program. It's optional, doesn't cost you anything, but if you're interested, you can help other small businesses and earn a side income. And we actually pay 3 levels deep. So there's great lucrative passive income available. So let's talk about the 2-step process. Step 1 is we need to get credible on paper. The number 1 reason why small business owners have trouble getting funding is they don't look credible on paper. So we're going to go through a 28-day process. We call that the Small Business Certification. It's a grant subsidized program to take you through in less than a month. to get your loan package built out. So what is a loan package? That's going to include your business plan, your financial forecast, the supporting documents. This is what's needed for lender approval. This is the reason why most small businesses do not get funding, is they don't look credible on paper, or they don't have at least enough information pulled together to meet the lender's expectations. During this time, during this 28-day process, we're going to also help build your business credit under the EIN, things like your Dun & Bradstreet, and we'll guarantee a minimum of $10,000 of business credit during that process with no use of your Social Security number. If needed, we can also add $100,000 or more of income producing assets to your business balance sheet and income statement to make your business look better on paper and to provide the collateral that is often needed for funding. That's the number one reason that we see that small business owners get declined for funding, is inadequate collateral. We can fix that with our collateral support program. So step one was getting credible on paper. Now we're on step two. Let's go get funding. What does that mean? Well, we're going to build out a funding plan based upon your mitigating circumstances to raise a minimum of $100,000 guaranteed. It's important to understand that the funding plan will be developed with your input and for your approval. So it won't be just recommending sources of capital that you might not feel that's best for your circumstances. Once we're into step two, we're able to get your first tranche of financing, called FTF, first tranche of financing, very quickly, usually within just 5 to 7 days. There are many different sources of funding available, so don't be confused or concerned about that. The three of us that form the model, we all used to work for the SBA, but in addition to SBA, 504 and 7A and 7A Express loans, there's many other types of funding, like lines of credit, real estate financing, equipment financing, or even money that you don't have to pay back, called investor equity. So many sources of capital. So what we need to do is go ahead and get started today. There's no risk. We have guaranteed results. There's no reason to not give it a try. So you'll be able to enroll in step one, the small business certification, today on this page. Very easy to do, and over a $2,000 grant allocation has already been extended to you. We'll get started today without delay. So I'll pause there. So the tools are being provided to make this really simple. You'll have a landing page. This video is embedded on that landing page. There is a button to click. You also will be provided, and frankly have been provided, a PDF of this to give you the talking points if you need. But it's really designed in most cases that you probably won't have to talk to clients. You'll drive them to prospects, I should say. You'll drive them to your landing page. They'll be able to watch this 5-minute video, and they'll be able to enroll at the bottom of the page with credit or debit card. If they don't have $99 to get started, then they can't enroll. But as long as they have $99, they can complete the form. They get started, generates income for you, and we're able to start helping them. At any time that you would like, you can start to then talk to them about the key person policy, because again, you'll be notified of their enrollment. You'll have their contact information, and at whatever point that you would like in the process, you could talk to them about upgrading to access to capital. In other words, getting step two set up. It would be most common to wait until the end of the 4 weeks to pitch step two, but just so you know, you're under control of that. So with the free landing page, this video, and again, you might say, well, this video says enroll in step one. Where? Well, because this video is going to be on your landing page. They'll be seeing it on your landing page. So it's pretty slick. Scott is committing that he'll have the landing page design done this week. Again, we had targeted March 1st, but I'm sure that we'll have it ready by the end of this week, maybe towards mid this week. We'll obviously let you know. In the short term, what you can certainly do is get set up as what we call a master affiliate. If you want to be at the top of the hierarchy, not MLM or network marketing, but there are override income opportunities. And so we can go ahead and get you locked in there if you want, or just simply wait until the full launch is available. This is a really big deal for those of you that are white label partners, because if you look back and you've had any clients enroll in access to capital, but they didn't qualify for cash funding, or they're not currently compliant, they're not making payments on whatever financing they had for that, you definitely want to pivot them over and get them plugged into this. It gets them compliant, allows us to help them, and gets you paid in the short term without reducing your long-term income. By developing and dividing into steps 1 and 2, you make more, not less, and I'm confident that clients will be more satisfied. We use the term step 1 and step 2 so they understand, because I do realize, again, human nature is, hey, I don't want step 1. I don't want a loan package. I don't want to go through 28 days. I don't want any of that. Just give me my funding, like Darren. Just give me my 7.5 million. Step 2. Well, you're not going to get funded until you look credible on paper. Most people, most businesses, whether they're our clients or in general, don't look credible on paper. That's their number 1 problem. So that's why we go through step 1 before we go to step 2. All right, so let me go through and start answering into your questions. But again, our timeline is certainly before March 1st. Most probably this week, we will have the landing pages fully functional. We'll do a full rollout. This is going to be a big deal. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll enroll at least 1,000 clients in the first 30 days. You just need to decide how many of those that are going to be your clients. Even if you just enroll 10 in the first month, remember those 10 clients, well, that'll generate a quick $1,000 to you, which I know no one gets excited about. But those 10 clients just became your 10 sub-affiliates. Some of them won't care about that. Some of them will do nothing. But statistically, 2 or 3 out of those 10 will know other small businesses and drive people into their landing page, which they get for free. It's free to be an affiliate, free to get a landing page. Now you're earning override income. And that's the power of building an organization, is that you're able to generate passive income off of other people's work. But we're not out selling opportunities, right? We're not selling a landing page. We're not out selling a fee to become an affiliate. Those are offered at no cost, but they're available to those that are actually going through the curriculum. The analogy we used on Friday, it's like going to a store. You ever go to the store and the batteries are already in the flashlight, so you need a flashlight. So the flashlight and the batteries come together. And if you just said, no, I just want the flashlight, open up the packaging, take the batteries out. No, the batteries are with the flashlight. So that's the analogy. With becoming a client, a participant in the small business certification, step 1, you're also an affiliate. You can do something with it or not. There's no production requirements, no harm, no foul, but they come together like the batteries and the flashlight. All right, so Marcelo asked, how can we submit people for this currently? Well, you can submit people in, and so I'll share that so we can go over to iimfl.org, go to small business certification, and you can submit people here. But this is not a replicated landing page. It's not where we're going to end up. But right now, if you needed, you could submit people here, and you will make your $100 on the small business certification. But it'll be a seamless system where they can pay, they can accept the terms and conditions. They'll get started immediately once Scott has this populated. All right, John asked if credit sweep is needed. Great. So in general, on step 1, we're going to be gathering their documents to see what their mitigating circumstances are, understand their capital raise requests, what they're going to use the money for. And we're going to help them build their business credit. They shouldn't need credit sweep during this time. If to accomplish their funding goal that they would benefit from the credit sweep, then they can do that, and then that would be free. So we now provide the 60-day credit sweep free for clients that are in access to capital, which you'd refer to here as step 2. All right, let's see. Peggy says she needs it. she's working with the incubator with 60 people. Yeah. So in the short term, you can submit people here on the small business certification page. It's just, this is not as optimized as what we're going to have here on the landing pages you'll have, because this describes, Peggy, the relationship between step 1 and step 2, which, because we know this is what people want. And so it has the video link here and so forth. But in the short term, for those of you that want to submit clients and want to get paid this week, you certainly can. And again, if you have any clients that are in access to capital that are not compliant, that have not paid the $2,500 refundable deposit, they're not on any type of financing plan, you can go ahead and submit them here. That gets them compliant. All right, so Bruce is going to pivot 55 people into this program. Great, and that's how many I think Bruce has that has not set up their financing. Marcel's asking about the credit sweep. Well, we're giving the credit sweep away free now. It's not fee-based, and so no one's making any money off of that. Now, you can go out and sell the credit sweep as a standalone if you want, but what we had decided a while back is let's not make that a revenue generator for us, you and I. Instead, let's make that a value-added offering for the client to help them get funding. Winston asked about the affiliate payouts. We're going to pay those affiliate payouts weekly. We want you to be making money fast through this two-step process. So client enrolls this week, you'll be paid next Friday. So every Friday is payday from the prior week's production, both on your production and your downline's production. And then once they get to step 2, they're going to pay you $2,500 after their first tranche of financing. And then you get to name what the performance fee is. Most of you are going between 10 and 20%. But yeah, this is going to create cash flow consistently and quicker for our distribution partners. We know that's important. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Yeah, so if you want to, again, be an affiliate or a master affiliate right now, it's just going to this page, small business certification, and clicking on that if you'd like, and then we'll get you the Adobe packet lawn. Thank you for that. So again, understand we're in the soft opening phase. So I'm not here to say that it's all ready for prime time operation. It's not. The site's created, Scott's working on the functionality that'll appear here, and by the end of this week, we'll be ready to go for a hard launch and drive in massive numbers. But there is an opportunity right now for those of you that do want to get plugged in. You want to be one of the few master affiliates, so that the hierarchy is being built out beneath you. You can do that if you wish, or you can wait. Again, if you have clients that are already on board, access to capital, they're not performing, instead of asking them to pay out of pocket for the $2,500, you can pivot them over and we will give them the $2,104 grant allocation. So now they're just paying the $396 for the small business certification, and you're still paid off that. And yeah, Pauline's correct. So if you're a white label partner, you know the expectation was to generate at least 8 clients a month. These will count just the same. And so even if they don't bump up and go into step 2, rather because they don't prefer it, or you don't feel like they're a good fit, and you don't want to take them into the funding phase, as long as you're enrolling at least 8 in step 1, then that keeps us all compliant, and that'll generate a nice cash flow for you as well. All right, so I think we've covered what we wanted today. So in summary, we're moving ever closer to the hard launch of breaking the process down into 2 steps. Step 1 is helping the clients get credible on paper. Step 2 is helping them get funding. If you don't want to offer 2 steps, you want to stick with the 1 step, then you can continue to enroll people directly into the access to capital. That's fine. I just believe that you'll A, make more money this way, and B, have much more satisfied clients, because while anyone can enroll in step 1, it wouldn't be logical for us to enroll someone into step 2 that's not a good fit. Well, what does a good fit mean? It means if there's a disconnect between what they want and what they can qualify for. And again, Darren's our example. Good man, smart, smarter than me, smart guy. But he has an inconsistency. He wants 7.5 million. We can't get that. We can't find a path to get him from here to there quickly. And that's what he wants. That's what he urgently wants. Let's avoid the Darrens of the world. We can enroll everyone into step one. We can let them know after they've completed step one that they can move on to step two. But before we go into step two, we'll know enough about their circumstances. We'll have their business plan, their financial projections, balance sheet, income statement. We'll know where they're at. And so frankly, if someone comes to you and their step two, their funding request is inconsistent with their current reality, we can let them know that so they can make an educated decision, because we don't want unhappy clients. And the key to unhappy clients is managing expectations. So we can get them the $2,104 grant allocation, get them in step one, build the value proposition. You can get them the key person policy if you're a licensed agent. And then if you feel that they're a good fit, then you can go ahead as a white label partner, bring them into step two, make another $2,500 and the performance fee. Last question is Zahn asks, are we doing the soft credit pull? Absolutely. So the small business certifications, no different than we talked about. It's broken down over here. We've made it simple on the landing page, just not to give them too much information where it's paralysis by analysis. But yeah, the 4 modules are the same as they are. And we certainly do the soft credit pull as part of week 2. That's part of the curriculum. So the 4-week curriculum that you all are familiar with, that you probably trained on over on the white label page, scroll down beneath the YouTube videos and you'll see it's where you submit white label clients, of course. And so here you got the 4 modules. These are the same modules. This is the small business certification. There's no difference. And yes, the soft credit pull, Zahn, is part of module 2. No change. So we'll know what we're dealing with, right? Because if we don't do a soft credit pull and we don't know where their business credit is, how can we really do a good job of making recommendations of where their funding should come from, or to be able to alert them, like Darren needed to be alerted, hey, buddy, your $7.5 million is a pipe dream. You don't qualify for it. I'm sorry you don't. We're not being mean, but what you want is not consistent with your current reality. Now, could we get Darren his first 100,000? Of course, but he didn't want 100,000. He went 7.5 million. We don't want more Darrens. We want clients that are happy, that are satisfied. And there's just absolutely no way that I can figure out that we could miss someone's expectations by breaking it down into 2 steps. Step 1, they get exactly what they are promised. They get the financial literacy, the loan package build out, the one-on-one mentoring, the business credit build of at least 10,000. If they need help with the collateral support program, we can do that. That's an extra fee, of course. But then if they are a good fit, then we can move them on to step 2. And I think that's what's been sorely needed, is breaking it down into 2 steps. But with that being said, one more time, if you want to continue to enroll people as you have, which is done on the white label page right here, you can submit as many people here as you want. You don't have to go through the 2-step process. That's your choice. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow. Scott's working hard on getting those landing page. I don't want to say landing pages created, but he's working hard on getting the infrastructure, the reporting, the payment processing all set up. We should have that live this week, hopefully midweek, and we'll make a formal announcement once it is. I think you're going to be able to help a lot more people and make a lot more money and have more satisfied clients if you'll consider the 2-step process. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.